GM guys, just making a short introduction for this long ass video I just made. 2 hours long, first time I'm making such a long video. So, you know, I have a very specific way of speaking. I take breaks on my sentences. I give you a ton of details, which is why it's so long. So I advise you watch it on 1.5 speed or 1.25 speed if it gets too long. But everything I say is about teaching you lessons about my life, you know? I mean, the lessons I learned in my life. It took like 10 years of evolution to get to the point I am, where I have the infinite six-pack that never goes away, you know? It takes a long fucking process of learning to get there. You don't just fucking have it in 2 years and that's it. No, you have to have the reason why it's there and it doesn't go away is because I have deeply rooted lessons in my mind that I'm trying to teach you here. That's the point of this video, is just to teach you. Literally, I made it with one thing in mind: help people change their fucking lives. So hopefully you can get a lot of fucking knowledge from it, a lot of value from it. That's why I made it. It's really there to help you out. If you apply what I tell you in this video today, you will see a change within this week. It's crazy. You'll see a change in your mind, a change in your energy. It's really going to help you change your life. So please apply it and listen to it and watch till the end. And most importantly, press follow on the YouTube, press like. And GM guys, so if you've clicked on this video, it's that you want to learn about my way of losing fucking weight and eating whatever the fuck I want. As you know, I have an Instagram food content account, right? I have a chef account. I'm a chef. I've worked in Michelin places, 5-star hotels in Paris. And I was in the middle of a fat culture, you know? Everyone around you tells you that chefs have to be fat. And I fell for it. I excused my fat by the fact that, oh, it's okay, I'm becoming a chef, I have to be fat. It's totally normal to be a fat chef. So I went from this, I lost 20 kilos of fat. That's when it took 6 months to lose this 20 kilos of fat. And then, the thing that happened next was this. I gained 20 kilos of muscles. Now you might wonder, how the fuck does that happen as a chef? Because I like to say that I'm the first French chef with six-pack, you know? Most famous French chef with six-pack. It's not something common. You never see chefs being fit. I mean, being fit is a thing, but a chef with a six-pack is another thing. It doesn't fucking happen. So I made this little presentation for you to present you my life evolution, because it was I have a quite unbelievable life, and people don't really believe me when I fucking explain it to them. But because it's a lot of different things that are completely unrelated that happened, all happened to me. You know, I have a lot of experience in different fucking topics of life. So anyway, you might watch this video and relate to a few of the things I've done, a few of the mistakes I've made. Maybe not everything, because my life is really fucking spread apart, really blown all over the place. But it's very likely that you find yourself relating to some of the things I've done, some of the mistakes I've fucking done. So, I've called this presentation From Feminine Geek to Giggy Chat, because as you can see, around the time I was fat and before and little after, I was very feminine. That's why I had a pink shirt, you know, pink pair of shorts, because I was fucking feminine. I loved fucking pink. I was trying to wear pink all the time. I still like pink now, but it's a different thing. You know, I'm not going to wear pink all over the place. It really signals to people that you're feminine, that you're pretty much gay. So, unless, you know, it's a very fine suit that you wear once in the year. But anyway, I'm not going to waste too much time yapping here, because you might have seen on my past videos that I'm a professional yapper. And if I keep yapping now, this video is going to take fucking 2 hours. So I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. So Feminine Geek, there it is. That's how I was around 2016 to 2021. I loved to dress up as a fucking girl. I was always doing this fucking kiss face, ass face, duck face on all the fucking pictures. Taking pictures with girls. I was totally fine taking pictures that make me look like a fucking trans blender, as they like to say. You know? I was also, you know, I love to dress up as a fucking woman. I love to have no clothing on me as a fucking woman. I was always getting fucking friends on all this shit. I was very fucking feminine, as you can see. The same duck face shit all the time. I was very fucking feminine my whole life. And it couldn't have kept going this way, you know? So this presentation is to tell you about how I went from this feminine geek loser to a giga chatter. Honestly, when I look at this picture now, it's my dream physique, you know? I didn't think it would be so easily accessible. This was, like, I got abs for the first time. I was like, oh, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like this. I thought, damn, I'm big. But this wasn't my dream physique. Big, but not a dream physique. And then I looked at this. I look at this now. That's me now, by the way. This picture was taken last week. And I thought, damn, that's actually probably my dream physique. There's a little bit of fat on my lower back here that I would maybe need to lose if I was trying to make it perfect. But really, you don't really notice it. If you look at the overall picture, it's a dream physique. It's fucking crazy. So anyway, how I lost 20 kilos of fat, then gained 20 kilos of muscle with no tracking, and became the most famous French chef with six-pack. I wrote the most famous, but then I deleted it because I was trying to be humble. But do you know any other French chef with a six-pack? No, you don't. So, with no tracking is a very important part. I don't fucking like tracking. I don't understand people are being so obsessed with numbers in fitness. Throughout the whole fucking human life on Earth, there's never been tracking. Nobody was tracking fucking numbers to be fit. We've done this for the past 20 years, and people live as if you can't fucking get fit without numbers, without tracking your calories, without tracking your weight, without tracking how many reps you do at the gym, without tracking any random fucking variable they can count. I haven't tracked anything. I have tracked for a little period of my life because I had to go through the mistakes, right, as I keep telling you. But look at this. From this stage here, when I lost all my weight to this weight, it took 6 months to get there. I was tracking for 6 months because I was a beginner. Look, this is not someone that goes to the gym. This is someone that goes to the gym. And when I got into fitness, I was tracking everything. I got brainwashed by the fitness Instagram that sells you the whey protein and the creatine and everything that you need to spend your money to get into this business, you know, not business, but lifestyle. I became a gym rat, a gym bro that spends money to get fit and that tracks numbers. That's not how you go about fucking getting fit. Getting fit it's natural. That's when I started, by the way, after this picture. All this only happened without tracking anything. I fucking promise you, I haven't tracked fucking anything. And then, main part, you know, don't track because it's natural to be fit. You shouldn't have fucking numbers to understand how to get fit. It's not about numbers. It's about feeling perfect in yourself. Not perfect, but feeling good. It's life, enjoying life, living life like an animal. You're an animal on the planet. So in this presentation, I'm going to tell you about my life path, what I learned about growth, what I learned about fitness and wellness. Fitness and wellness are two different things. You can be fit, perfectly fit bodybuilder, and not have such a great wellness, because you might be on steroids, you might have side effects from steroids, you might be dying from steroids, you might not be able to move your arms around because you have so much muscles. Fitness and wellness are different things, you know, just like bodybuilding and fitness. I mean, that's what I meant, you know, bodybuilding is not the same as fitness. If you're fit, you can move around, you can do anything you want, but bodybuilding isn't. And wellness is more than just the fitness at the gym. Wellness is everything in your mindset. The mindset, by the way, guys, you hear it all the fucking time. It's the mindset, and you don't want to hear about this because everyone says the same thing, and it sounds like it's magic, and they're trying to sell you a dream. It is all down to mindset. But you have to learn your lesson. If you think it's still bullshit, it's because you haven't learned your lesson. You need to learn your lesson. And then I'm also going to tell you how my clients change their lives with the human regime. That's Sebastian, one of my first clients, actually probably my first client, because I've known him for a very long time, and he was looking up to me from childhood. He saw me evolve, and that's why he changed, because he saw me evolve and he trusted me. I'm gonna tell you more about him later. And that's my friend Luigi, who lost a bunch of fucking weight because he was bulking. He was just like me. And when I told you I was brainwashed by the capitalism fitness that makes you bulk, makes you eat the protein, makes you buy shit. He got to the stage, he got very big and he lost himself in the bulk, right? The bulk. So with my technique, the human regime, he got back on track. He lost the excessive fat that he had fucking, it was on him for 2 years. And he was fucking always saying, I'm bulking. So he's been bulking for 2 years and never had fucking abs. You know, he was trying to be fit and sexy. He never had abs because he got lost in the bulking. So with my techniques, he's been losing fat and getting back on track, which is what you want, you know. You want to be in control of your situation. He was out of control when he got lost in the bulk. That's the thing. You can be very big, full of muscles, and be out of control because discipline is not the same as fitness. You can be super big and have a ton of muscles and be the biggest guy in the gym, but be fat and never have seen your six-pack because you can't control what you put in your mouth. You have no discipline. It's a very different thing to be fit and to be fat and big, you know. I don't like deadlifters for this reason. They just eat and don't care about how they look. They just want to have the biggest number on what they lift. You see? Although it's completely fucking useless. You know, usually, woohoo, they manage to lift 500 pounds, so like 250 kilos, a little bit less. And then they get bulging discs in their back. How do you call it? I forgot the name of it, the medical term. You know, when you have your vertebrae that fucking snap together and it, you know, the disc issues that everyone fucking has. It's because they're lifting dumb weights for no reason. And their spine is not made for this. Anyway, this is what I'm going to talk about in this presentation. So, this presentation might resonate with you deeply if you got addicted to time black holes in the past. What I call time black holes are things that you enjoy, right? Because it's an addiction, but bring nothing to your life. So in my case, I'm talking about video games. I was the biggest video game addict. I played 8 to 16 hours a day every day. Like if I had classes, I was playing 8 hours. And if I had no classes on the weekend, I was playing 16 hours a day. So that's a time black hole because I've spent maybe 20, 30, 40,000 hours playing video games. And it's hours that I'm never getting back. And hours that I've spent not being productive. That's the problem with video games, is that however fun you can feel, once you log out, once your computer is turned off, then what do you have in real life? You have fucking nothing. And some people will tell you that, oh, League of Legends actually improves your reflexes and your speed of thinking. That's the geeks trying to give you a reason why they're actually not wasting their time. But it is, let me tell you, I've played about 20,000 hours of League of Legends, and it doesn't help you. Sure, your finger can move a little bit faster. What else now? What does it do for your life? Do you have discipline now? No. You actually can't control how many games you play when you play the game. You could play 50 games in a row if you didn't fall asleep in the meantime. You're completely addicted. That's time black holes. So it could be video games, it could be watching TV shows. Nowadays, I guess you could say social media is the biggest time black hole. But some people work on social media, so it's a little different. But anything else, you know, it can be drinking. You can be an alcoholic and go out every evening, every weekend, maybe a couple times or 3 times a week. Might not sound like too much, right? Because it's less than half of the time, right? 3 times a week is less than half of the time. Although it's a big fucking addiction that's destroying your life. And it's a time black hole, because you're going out, wasting maybe 4, 5, 6, 8 hours out every evening that you're out, being drunk. Then it's hours that you're not being productive. Then you get home, you get fucked for the next day and the next day after because you couldn't catch up on sleep. And then the alcohol stays in your system for like 14 days before you can get normal. But because you keep drinking all the time, it never gets out of your system. So you're killing yourself and you're never productive. This is a massive time black hole. So if you've had time black holes in the past, can be drugs also, by the way, you know, smoking weed and then staying at home doing nothing for 16 hours and feeling like you felt so good today. You were so high. That was a good day because you felt so good from your high. What you've done essentially is destroy your brain and wasted time. That's what happened. And then some dopamine was released. Right. You don't want time black holes in your life. It might resonate with you if you fell victim to the big gay. By the big gay, I mean this political agenda that pushed everyone to be feminine. And everyone was telling you, it's okay to accept your feminine side. And I totally fell for it. I was the biggest victim of that. Look at this. Look at this picture. That's why I was always fucking doing the duck face, because that's femininity, fucking max femininity. I was always like, fuck, I'm so gay. And there's more pictures, guys. I couldn't make sense of putting them all in this one presentation, but I was very feminine. I got my nails done here. There you go. I went to the nails salon like 3 times to get my nails done at some point. That's how deep in the big gay hours. You know, you need to accept your feminine side. If you want to get your nails done, then fucking do it. It's your life. You're happy with it. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. You can go do some makeup too if you want. That's the big gay. Society trying to make everything gay and accepting everything. You know, having no standards. You don't want no standard. Standards are essential. And that's the problem nowadays, that nobody has standards anymore. Standards are completely gone down the toilet. People seek more and more comfort. They will never add more difficulty in life. They want more and more comfort. They want their routine to get easier, so they buy a more comfy sofa. They buy a more comfy pillow. A more comfy what? I don't know. A bigger TV so they can enjoy their TV show better. People will spend their money to have more comfort and do less. Although that's not how it works if you're successful. If you're successful, you should always have more difficulty in your life. With success comes responsibilities. That's not a quote that sounds beautiful. If you have success, you're going to have expectations, because the money that comes from you from success implies that people have expectations from you and that you're fulfilling those expectations. If you stop fulfilling those, you're going down, you're dying. There's only progress or dying in life, you know, evolution or death. That's what nature does. Either something is growing or dying. So if you fell to the big gay, by that I mean you might have went to gay bars, you might have kissed some guys at the club. I did kiss some guys at the club. I'll talk to you about this in another video dedicated to the big gay, because I have a lot to say about this topic. I was a big victim of it. But this is about the feminine world and making people as feminine as possible. That's what caused transgenderism to be so big. That's what caused LGBTQIA+ to become so big and nonsensical. It makes no sense. Gay is the definition, and out of gay, they took LGBTQIA+ and all this bullshit. It's people who think they have so much importance, so sex addicted. They think about nothing else than them and their will to feel better, right? And their will to put a word on what they are, to give themselves a meaning, a value, because they don't have any. They have no other addiction than sex and fucking porn and all this shit. And femininity and this other sex and getting confused with sexes because you can't think about anything else than sex. So you get stuck in this fucking loophole and it makes you gay. It's not a fucking joke, guys. When I talk about this, it's a big, real topic, and nowadays it's going away, but a lot of people are victim to it and still see it today as they know that it's changing. They can see around them that people are losing faith in this LGBTQIA+ religion. It's a fucking religion. But they're not sure about making a step out of it because they've based their whole identity on it for the past 5 years, you know? And I was very feminine. I actually kept telling girls that I think it's totally normal to be feminine. It's totally normal to accept your feminine side. You need to be your true self. And if you feel like being feminine, it means that your true self makes you feminine. But that's not what happens. Femininity in men is put in your head by the outside. You're getting contaminated. You're getting brainwashed. That's what happens. I fell to the big gay. So if you fell to the big gay, you might relate to this story a little. You might also resonate with it if you were a nice guy. As you can see on my pictures, I was the fucking simp. This is one of the first girls that friend-zoned me, of course. Look at this. Would you, as a woman, date this? No, that's a fucking faggot. That's a simp. I also got friend-zoned by this girl. I also kind of got friend-zoned by this girl here, but oh my God, I got friend-zoned about like 15, 20 times. I lost count. It happened a lot. So I was depressed all the time because I was just the nice guy. I didn't understand that the respect aspect of relationship. If you're nice as fuck and you always say yes to girls, always say yes, you're always available, then they don't respect you. Respect comes from you not being available at all times and you not going, the fact that you're not going to just provide for them anything they want, anytime they want. Otherwise, what is there to expect? Once you've fulfilled their expectations 3 times, you're predictable. And that's boring. That's not what women want. So I was the nice guy. I just wanted to, I was always offering. You know, I was always giving to women, trying to make it bigger and bigger every time. I was a big simp. Anyway, if you've been a nice guy and rejected for a long time because of it, I've been rejected for... My first girlfriend was at 18 years old, and before that I got like rejected maybe 10 times before this first one. Then the first relationship was 3 months long, right? And then I got rejected a lot after, and a lot until maybe 2023, when then I stopped thinking about women completely and got monk mode, and it totally changed my life, right? I'm not going to tell you to go monk mode here, don't worry. I'm just telling you that I've experienced it and it's useful. A lot of people tell you monk mode is a YouTube trend. That's bullshit. You don't have to do that. It's extremely beneficial. I'll talk about it later. It might also resonate with you if you've suffered a substantial loss. By that, it can be someone, you've lost someone, or it can be something. I've suffered a lot of heartbreaks, right? Because I was the nice guy. You're basically heartbroken all the time, but you get used to it. Literally, if you gotten heartbroken 10 times, you get used to being depressed, and it doesn't become big. It just, you're in the routine of being depressed, right? But in my case, I also lost $100,000 twice in crypto, right? I lost it once, then got into the biggest depression of my life, in which I had suicidal thoughts and shit like this, you know? Because it's not only about the money, it's about once you don't have the money anymore, you think about, wow, I could have fed 10,000 people in Africa for like a year, 2 years, 3 years with this money. I could have helped people build their lives with it. And what did I do? I had greed and lost it all, trying to gamble. And when you realize that you could have saved lives with it, you could have improved lives, you could have made so much good in the world with it, and now it's gone because you were greedy, this hurts you like a motherfucker. So I lost it once, got into the biggest depression of my life. I'm gonna show you lower. And then I lost it again, but this time I was kind of in the routine of it. I'm very used to being like very deceived in life because of all the bad shit that happened to me. So that now when a very bad thing happens to me, I think, what's the worst that could happen now, you know? Once you've had the mistakes, you understand that failing is part of the game. It's so useful to fail. You have to fail to learn. So the first time you're going to, that's not the topic, yeah? Anyway, suffer substantial loss. If you've lost someone, I haven't had a death soon, recently in my life, so this is not a big topic in my life because my family is still well and, you know, touching wood, as they say, you know. But some people I know very close to me have lost very close relatives, and I've actually, a girl that I liked a lot, she lost her sister, and it broke me when I learned about this. It actually hurt me so much to learn that she was going through this loss. And it hurt me a lot to hear about this. So, fuck, I just hit the mic. Sorry. So, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time thinking about losing people. That's not something you might want to do, right, if you've also lost people. But it's a step of the mindset learning that is very important, that changes you. It's a big fucking lesson that you have that other people don't have. And it might also resonate with you if you have let mainstream ideas justify your mediocrity. By this I mean, I let the outside tell me that it's normal to be a fat chef. It's normal to let yourself go because, all the chefs I know that I've worked for are 50, 60, fat. And I know other chefs that can't walk anymore at age 50 because they got so fat. And, there's this reputation with it that if you're a 3-star Michelin chef, of course you're fat because you've tasted so many good food in the past. And of course, it made your success, right? But now you're 50 and you're about to die. And you have catastrophic health problems. You can't go out walk with your kids. You can't walk the dog. You can't fucking do anything. You have to be at home because you're so unhealthy from it. That's what happens when you let the mainstream ideas justify your mediocrity, right? There is no reason to be fat as a chef. There is a lot of normalization of it. People want to make it normal. It's normal to be a fat chef. It's not. It just means you're an addict. And yeah, right, it might be a good business decision to be addicted to food if you're a chef. But it's an addiction, and any addiction is going to hurt you. Don't let mainstream ideas justify your mediocrity, justify your bad actions or anything. So what everything comes down to, right? All this shit that I've been talking to you about, it comes down to the fact that mistakes are essential. I'm going to show you here, I made a little timeline of my life. And in this timeline, you'll see all the fucking mistakes I've made, which is a lot of mistakes. And mistakes are actually essential to get shaken to the core. You have to get shaken. If you don't get shaken, if your life has no mistake, your life is boring, you drown in comfort. You do nothing, you stay at home, and you get comfortable with what you have, and you don't want more, and you don't strive for success. You think that you're in a cool spot because everyone else is in this spot, and you actually don't have any problems, so it's good, But it takes deep analysis of your situation and of what you want to become to then realize the gap between who you are right now, what you want to do today. Look, analyze your situation. I'm gonna come back to the shaken to the core aspect because I'm thinking about how to word this shit because it's very deep. If you haven't lived big mistakes, you haven't questioned yourself deeply, you don't understand why you're not doing what you want to do. You want to become someone, but you don't act. Because you weren't shaken to the core, you haven't made those mistakes. As I said earlier, losing $100,000 is one mistake that shakes you to the core. You realize, wait, I've ruined I could have saved tens of thousands of lives with this money, right? It's money that you just threw down the drain because you were a greedy asshole. You had the bad values. So with those bad values, you destroyed the good. And that hurts you. That's something that shakes you to the core and it changes your person. Your persona, what's the word I'm looking for? Your personality, sorry. You need to be shaken to the core by those mistakes. And some people have had the mistakes, but didn't analyze them and decided to let those mistakes design their lives, describe who they are now, It takes deep analysis of your situation and of what you want to become. And killing the voice that tells you it's okay to feel like everyone else. So I want you right now to do a little exercise with this video. We're going to pause the video in in 30 seconds, right? I want you to think about your situation right now. Think about where you are, like in your hometown, in your apartment, whatever, where life brought you, right, today. And then I want you to think about where you want to go? What do you want to become as a person? Do you want to become like a fucking astronaut? Do you want to become a billionaire? Do you want to become a CEO of a big business, multinational business? Do you want to have 5 kids? Do you want to be religious, right? No, whatever you want to become, and think how your situation today, how far away is it from your goal, and how come it's so far away? How come you're not closer? Because it's things that you want to become. What is it that makes it that you're so far away from it? It's complacency. It's you not fucking caring. You don't care. Or you accepting being complacent, right? So think about it right now. Take 2 minutes, pause the video, and do that. That's it. You've done it, right? Now, you need to kill the voice that tells you it's okay to fail like everyone else. You might have noticed that the reason why you're not doing it is probably because you are fine in this situation. Things are not too bad. You're pretty happy with where you are. And things are fine. And because of it, you're not pushed to do things. You stay at home and you know you have to go out and do your running, for example, or go out and go to the church to sign up because you want to become religious, or go out and invite this girl that you like because you want to have 5 kids, but you're fucking single right now, or something like this. The actions that you don't take because you think, I'm actually in a comfortable situation, I don't need to do it, I can do it later. Anything that's like this, because tomorrow you'll probably be dead. You don't know what's going to happen. Some people die today and the next day, and you don't know what's going to happen. So every time you push it away, you think it's okay to do it later, it's okay to fail like everyone else. That's the voice in your head. The voice that tells you, I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't have to do it, it's not mandatory, it's not obligatory, I don't need it in my life. These are things that stop you from evolving. And it's the voice of failure, the voice of losers, that tells you that it's okay to fail like everybody else. And on the side here I wrote, you're better off making mistakes than doing nothing. Because this voice might make you do nothing in the end, because you're afraid of mistakes, right? You have comfort right now, you couldn't afford to make a mistake. That's what you might think. But making mistakes is the best thing that happened to me, right? And in this, you'll hear me talking about it just afterwards, right? All the mistakes you can do in life are going to take you so much fucking further in life. You learn so much. There is no point living a life when nothing happens. Do you understand this? Mistakes are what makes you learn. Think about it. Let's imagine 2 world champion boxers, right? 2 boxers. Let's say the first one, he became world champion first try. He did 1 competition and won, and now he's the champion, right? That's the first champion. The second one is also a world champion, but this one had to do 10 competitions over 10 years and lose 9 times to then become the champion in the end. Who do you think is the best champion in the end? You might think it's the first one, because he just went there and won, right? Except that's not what it means. You haven't thought, you haven't used your brain. Who is the best one? It's definitely the second one, because the second one has experienced 9 different scenarios that the first one hasn't. The second one has much more life experience than the first one. The first one might have gotten lucky. Maybe he was against someone that did a mistake. So he got lucky from the other one's mistake and just won from it. While the one who lost 9 times before winning literally has more life experience, and a lot more life experience. 9 years worth of mistakes before becoming a champion are so many different fucking scenarios that the other one has not lived, right? The first champion has not lived 9 knockouts before in different ways, right? Because if you're a world champion, you have a certain level, and it takes things that you've never seen before to get knocked out stupidly at this level, right? So it's scenarios that the other one, the first one, has not seen, that the second one has seen 9 of. It's much better to make mistakes, to then win, to just win out of nowhere and just not understand what you've just won, not feel like it, you don't feel to be worth what you've won. You know the guy who created KFC, he failed 39 businesses, I think, or 42. I don't remember, somewhere around 40. He failed 40 times at launching his business before launching KFC, right? So once you've made 40 mistakes, you know all the mistakes you can make, and then you don't make any more mistakes. Well, if you just launch a business for the first time and it's successful, you don't know what mistakes can be made, and then you end up making mistakes later on because you weren't ready. You don't have the experience that others have, right? It's much better to make mistakes than do nothing because you're comfortable and you don't want to lose what you have. You don't want to lose the comfort that you have today because you don't want to make mistakes. Making mistakes is the most valuable thing you can do in this fucking life. Because when you look back at your mistakes, you've always learned things from those mistakes. Tell me one mistake you've done in the past that you haven't learned from. It doesn't fucking happen. You'll just learn all the time. So yeah, that's it about the mistakes, right? And that's what drove my life to fast evolution in the past 3 years. You know, it looks like my life went exponential. From the outside, people don't fucking believe. You know, people that have known me in the past think I lie, think I make things sound more beautiful than they are, think that I'm fucking on steroids, things like this. No, I'm just living and doing things and not being afraid of mistakes. I'm so not afraid of mistakes. Like, I'd rather go out and fuck up right now than not do something I want to do, right? Let's say I want to have a Ferrari Portofino. I'm gonna talk to you about this car later. I'd rather fuck up a business 10 times now so that at age 30 I succeed than not launch my business now because I'm afraid of it failing, and then at 40, 50 not having the car because I just was a fucking working slave that did not want to risk anything. I love risking shit because I think making mistakes is the best thing that can happen to you. And some people might think it's crazy, but mistakes are so important for you. So I made the decision at some point to have so much evolution that I was done being a loser. I was done losing, but not losing as in making mistakes, but losing as in being a loser. Of course, every winner has mistakes. Every winner fucks up. So anyway, let's look into this timeline of my life. So I'm talking from the moment it started going my way, from the moment I had things in control and I could have done things, right? If I wrote something here at the bottom, teenage is not your fault, right? You can be like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's been a horrible situation, but it's not your fault. You were put there by society around you. You don't control the political agenda that makes everyone gay. You don't control what your family does of you. You know, you don't control that you've been sent to a boarding house. I have been sent to a boarding house. It wasn't my decision. It was my parents' decision. You don't control a lot of things when you're a child. So whatever you feel now, don't feel bad about it. Whatever you feel about your childhood, don't feel bad about it because your childhood is not your fault. It's just the cards you were given. And now you have to play the cards that you have. So in 2015, I was in this boarding house I'm talking to you about, and I was the laziest guy in the world. That's a lot of video game hours I've played. So that's one French video game. That's the only screenshot I could find about hours. That's like 8,000 hours on this video game, which is Dofus. This is like the new version, right? Because this game had an old version when I was younger, and my account from there got deleted, on which there's also thousands of hours. So I was a big Minecraft gamer, Dofus gamer, League of Legends gamer. I probably have around 30 to 40,000 hours playing video games. I was playing video games 16 hours a day when I had days off, or 8 hours when I was when I had school and shit like this. Got friend zoned about 10, 15 times around this age, like 2015, right? I was chasing girls all the time, but also chasing but not acting. I was a fucking weird, creepy guy. I was looking up to girls. I wanted them, but I was too shy to do anything about this. I would just look at them and be shy and all this shit, you know? And whenever I made moves, got friend zoned instantly. And I was jokingly feminine at the time. I thought it was very funny to dress like this and very, ha ha ha, it's okay to be feminine, all right? You don't, why are you so afraid of being feminine? You know, it's just fucking, it's a costume and there's nothing bad to be about. In the end, you look at this and you think, what the fuck has society become, you know? Because of course it has an impact. Although you think it was jokes, for your mind to get to the stage of accepting to dress like this, a lot of things had to happen societally for that to happen. And I was chronically depressed, mostly because I got friend-zoned all the time. And it made me very sad to just get heartbroken. And then I chased another one and I was heartbroken again and heartbroken again. And, you know, this one. Here, this one. I hope you guys can't recognize those pictures, those girls. But I was chasing this one for a long time and heartbroken, just like everyone else. And it was actually the worst one, the worst heartbreak, most ridiculous. I'll talk about this in another video. Anyway, and the things that, so that's what happened in my life, right? And this is the lessons I learned from it. I had frustration from girls, from my physique, from my family situation, because my family also was a problem. My parents got divorced when I was like 13, so 2 years before this. And they were shouting all the time at home, fucking screaming, fucking catastrophic. That's why I was sent to a boarding house, because they thought, you know, it would be more stable for me to some shit like this, you know. And also I was always mad against my mom. I fucking hated my mom for a very long time. And I think putting me in the boarding house was the best decision they could have taken. In retrospect, I loved it. So I was frustrated, and before this boarding house, I was in my hometown with my parents, right? I had all this frustration. I was never happy, right? That's why I was chronically depressed, because I was always fucking frustrated. If one girl broke up with me and I moved on, then I had frustration from another one, and from video games and losing video games, shit like this, you know? And just the problem with this fake lifestyle of video games is that once you're done with the video games, you're probably going to be pissed off, right? Especially with League of Legends, for example. You stop playing, you're pissed off. And you're pissed off from nothing. It's wind. Once you turn off the computer, you haven't done anything in the world, and now you're pissed off because of the video games. Right? It's something that was so toxic for your mind. Especially League of Legends is a catastrophic video games for this. There's a lot of video games that don't piss you off, right? But this one, I played this one, I got addicted to this one. Fucked me over. And I was a chronic nice guy. I don't know how it happened. I think it's because of the societal norm, right? I got friend-zoned so many fucking times and just kept chasing and kept getting heartbroken again. And I wasn't changing. I didn't change myself. I just kept doing the same fucking things and kept being rejected in the same way. Because society kept on telling me that it's okay to be feminine. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry as a man. It's okay to this kind of shit. I remember crying in front of a friend. Like a fucking pussy. You know, you could feel its tears that were there and that had to come out for 5 years or something. It was catastrophic. Anyway. Yeah. Chronic nice guy. Nothing around me was telling me to change. Nothing around me pushed me to be manly. That's actually the thing I fucking needed, was to be manly. But at this time, nothing in the world was telling you to be manly. Actually, it was a very common term to say toxic masculinity. Everything about masculinity was made bad. And everyone was told everyone it was bad. So I was a big victim of that. I just accepted to be the feminine loser because it's bad to be masculine, you know? And I have to accept my femininity, and my femininity is so nice, blah, blah. Anyway, and I was a careless addict. Because after that, I played video games when nothing else mattered. The video games were basically my only escape from the depression of outside. And I just played the video games and didn't care about anything. You know? And then I want to remind you that teenage is not your fault. It's not your fault that you're born exactly at the time where video games appeared in history, right? It's not your fault that at age 5 your parents gave you a GameCube and then you've been playing it and you got addicted to it because you didn't choose it, right? I mean, you probably asked for it, but your conscience doesn't even go that far back, right? It's a lot of, it's not your fault. You were just born at this time in this time and age, and that's when we had to experience those mistakes. It's mistakes that we had to live through, right? So teenage is not your fault. The mistakes you've lived before, I think before being 18 is the correct thing to say. Before 18, your mistakes are not your fault. It's not necessarily your parents either, because your parents might have been also learning how to be parents and making their first mistakes too, to learn their lessons. That's why second children, third children have much different lives than the first kid, right? Anyway, that's it for 2015. 2018, I was still a lazy video game addict. I was in the UK, a UK student. I was studying politics in Nottingham. I was still a video game addict when I was done with my classes, and it was so bad because in my boarding house, at least I had like 7-8 hours of class every day. As a UK student, I don't know how it's legal that this shit happens like that, but I had 14 hours of class during my second year per day. 14 hours. So the first year it was like 16. And I thought, whoa, that's crazy. And then 14, I got even less the next year. How the fuck can you pay for a university tuition fee of £20,000 as an international student? And then you have 14 hours of class? This is all bullshit diplomas, guys. I learned this politics diploma I had was a bullshit diploma that makes no sense. It has no value. It has no intrinsic value. Now, if you want to get a job, you have a diploma. The employer takes it as valuable because it's a diploma and the system has forced them to accept people that have a diploma, no matter fucking what. So yeah, I did a bullshit diploma, and because I had so little hours of class, I was playing so much more video games. But also, you know, it's the age of 17, 18, your hormones start to pump through the roof and you start getting, wanting some pussy, you know? So that's when I started to go out, although I'd rather play video games, right? But I was trying to get girls. And since my normal way of doing it, of just chasing girls, didn't work, I just decided to try what all my classmates were doing, which was to go clubbing. And then it went up to 3 times a week for me. Some of my fucking classmates were doing it 5 times a week in the UK. It's crazy. By the way, in this town, Nottingham, there's clubs everywhere. So every day there's clubs opened for people to go out. And some people go every day. Unbelievable. My max was 3 times a week. Most of the time I went 2 times a week. The rest of the time I was playing video games. And I was drinking a lot there, a few times a week, right? I was feminine as fuck still. I was the only guy, but every Wednesday we had to dress up for going out. That's when I started going out, actually, when I decided it was funny to dress up with everyone else, with my class. And I was always the one dressed like a fucking faggot, like clearly half gay, you know? Clearly super feminine. I was the only one being so feminine. There was others, you know, with their nails done and stuff, but I loved dressing up at that time. And I was trying to be the most extra about it, and I was looking gay as fuck all the time. And I was fucking loving the movie Frozen, by the way. That's a topic for another video. And this thing here, let me tell you about it. Every year around this time, from 2015 to 2021, 22, for Valentine's Day, I was buying flowers and just giving them to people. Because I was a nice guy. I told you I'm a nice guy. I'm not lying when I tell you I was a nice guy. I was buying fucking flowers, giving them to people on the street. Actually, on the beginning, it was every year I was giving flowers to a girl and got rejected every time. You know, isn't it crazy? For Valentine's Day, you're the one guy that dresses up in school, gives the flower to the girl, and then you get rejected. Isn't that crazy? I got rejected, not you. Then I get rejected. And I was doing this every year, basically. How the fuck do you get rejected every year doing this every year? That's unbelievable. And so at some point I decided I wouldn't give it to one girl, but I would just give one rose to all the girls I see for Valentine's Day, right? Not as trying to get them, but just to spread some love on Valentine's Day. I was trying to just be nice with it. And I had some great feedback from it. People really loved it. People actually posted about it on the university fucking website and shit. It was crazy. I was always trying to be the nice guy. It was intentional. It was benevolent, really. I wasn't trying to do it to get some bitches. I was just doing it for me because I love to spread some love, you know? And that's the thing about femininity and being a half faggot is you're a leftist. You want to spread love, right? I mean, before this age, leftist was mostly about spreading love, right? Not spreading hate. Nowadays, it's a lot about spreading hate. But back in the day, I was trying to spread love. I was feminine as fuck, as I said earlier. And depression worsens because I was drunk all the time. My health was deteriorating. I was just going out for no reason. I was having sex with disgusting ogres. I was going to clubs and the only things that would accept me, I would sleep with. And I was some disgusting girls, like fucking ogres, like 2 out of 10 type shit, you know? Not many, right? I didn't only fuck this. I had some nice ones, a bunch of nice ones. On average, I'd say I was having some 5 out of 10, you know? So it wasn't satisfying. You know, having sex with this, girls that don't even attract you is not satisfying. You're just being an animal, doing it for no reason, doing it as instinct. But you're not even happy about it because it's not an attractive mating man, it's just the things that are available that you accept. That's what I literally said in my big gay video. You get to a stage in this society of big gay that you're rejected by everything because you're so ugly, so feminine, so all this shit. Society makes you ugly because it tells you to accept everything that you have that's negative, you know? Accept being super fat, accept being ugly, accept being a failure, accept everything. Then you become the ugliest version that you've ever been because you're accepting yourself. And now nobody wants you. Now you're rejected by everybody because you're so ugly. And because you're rejected by everyone, you start, the only thing that you can date are people that are just as ugly as you, just as failing as you, right? So, and that's how you end up with gay relationships. I mean, LGBTQIA plus relationships, where you can see their fucking posts on social media, they're ugly as fuck and fat. They get together because they are the only things that are willing to get together. You know, nobody else wants those people. And that's the thing, I was getting with ugly girls because it's the only thing that was down to do it with me, you know. Good girls with attractive girls didn't want it because I was a simp. I was a half faggot simp that had no manliness to it, you know. And all the women kept telling you that you have to accept your feminine side and shit. That's not what women want to date. Women want to date the masculine man. That's always been the case. That's why they like bad guys. It's not that they like bad guys, it's that they like men that they respect. And if you're a nice guy, they don't respect you because you're just going to give no matter what. You're going to hurt yourself to give for them, you know? And that's not respectable. A girl's going to respect you if you're not available all the time, if you have responsibilities, if you don't look up to the woman has to look up to you. Yeah, that's how it goes. And I was such a dog looking up to women. So there you go. And I was trying hard to give to women. I was always buying shit for women. I was buying flowers, I was buying gifts, I was buying fucking keychain, I was buying rings, I was buying not rings, but bracelets, necklaces, gold necklaces. I went to Dubai once, bought a gold necklace there, bought it to the girl, this one here, and it got friend-zoned. Anyway, I always tried to spend money for girls. That was my way of doing it, just giving them gifts. But you don't get respected like this, especially if you give them and they don't ask for it, and you give them more and they don't ask for it, and you give them more and they don't ask for it, and they don't even reward you for giving them a gift, you know? If a girl likes you, she's going to reward you for gifting to her. But if you give to them and they don't reward you because they didn't ask for it, because they don't even care about you, and you gift again, then you lost all the fucking respect. Now they start wondering, why the fuck are you offering me gifts like this? I actually had a bunch of women ask me like this, why are you offering me gifts like this? What is it? I've never done anything for you. Why are you offering me? It happened to me, right? And also at this time in the UK, that's where I met my friend. Did I put a picture of him? No, the friend that made me discover crypto. That's probably the only beneficial thing I've learned in the UK. I mean, I had my degenerate age, right, where you have to learn a lot of lessons there, that was valuable, but my diploma was fucking useless. And at least I met my friend, my Indian friend Aman, who made me discover crypto, discover Bitcoin. And I actually bought the bottom, but I bought like 50 euros with it. And then 2 months later, I saw that my 50 euros was worth 120 euros. And I started looking into it. I was like, oh shit, that's crypto, blah, blah, blah. And I started looking deep into crypto, blah, blah, blah. And over the time, I got my crypto addiction, right? So what I learned in this time in the UK, it's not what I learned, but it's what I can observe from it. When I look back at it, I can observe this. I had a lot of pulsions. I was trying to have sex with any girl I could find because I had the sexual pulsion of a teenager. I was trying to get my dick wet. That's it, although no love. There was no love in the UK at all. I mean, I got friend-zoned a couple of times there. But apart from that, I got friend-zoned and then I just had sex with girls I did not give a shit about, or one-night stands and shit like this. It was just sexual pulsions that was fulfilling by going out to clubs and finding drunk women. I was drunk too, of course. And I was blending in with the mass. To get girls, because I couldn't do it by myself, I blended in with the mass by joining the groups of people that went drinking, and I was trying to do like everyone else. I ended up like everyone else, being a drunk university student that goes out to fuck some drunk girls and then regret it and then forget it the next day. I became a nobody. You are nobody if you do this, There's no meaning to this life. No meaning, no reason to do this. Like, you're just damaging your health and doing unhonorable things. At least you're learning your lessons, hopefully. Not on the moment. You're definitely not learning on the moment, because on the moment you think you're doing the good thing because everyone else is doing it too. You learn years later that you fucked up doing it. But you get your lesson years later. And I realized that I was led down the wrong path by the societal paradigm, academically and socially. Academically, because my mom wanted me to just to study something. I wanted to take a gap year. My mom forced me to study something because that's how the world was. I was 17 when I joined university, so as I told you, when you're a teenager, it's not your fault. And so I think my mom she was brainwashed by the system too, and she just thought that everyone has to study and there is no way around it. Right? And so she just put me in a diploma, not politics, because I was smart enough to do politics. But this politics diploma in Nottingham University was a bullshit diploma. Fucking 14 hours lessons per day. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. So, I was led down the wrong path academically because I had nothing to do with this diploma. I didn't care about it. I just did it because society pushed me to it. And then I got it, and now what? I have my diploma. It hasn't been of any use to my life. I mean, maybe some employers noticed that I had education when applying for kitchens and thought, oh, this guy is actually not a retard. Let's hire him. Maybe. But it's not things I wanted to do. I hated it. I hated it especially because when you're there studying politics, you're arguing with leftists. You're arguing with leftists with pink hair, green hair, yellow hair, super fat. That make no sense. It's this kind of people. I actually was studying politics in the UK at the worst time in history. I think that's literally what happened to me. The worst time in history. It was the most leftist it's ever been. Everyone else around you was telling you're a racist if you talk anything against it. You're a bad person. The dog might hit the camera. No. Yeah. And everyone was trying to bully you if you were thinking anything else than the agenda that was pushed on TV. you know? Yeah, and then socially I was pushed down the wrong path because I was half gay. I was not happy like this. And that's the point. Everyone that's living this LGBTIA plus lifestyle is not happy with their fucking life. They're super depressed, thinking about maybe if I change sex, maybe I'll finally feel happy. Maybe I'll finally feel like myself. Of course you won't. Because if you cut your balls off, you will never have natural hormones ever in your life, and you will never feel happy. Because you will never be natural. The thing is that you have to get back into your natural state, which is an animal, which is not fucking being a woman when you're a man, not being a man when you're a woman. Actually doing your biological roles and doing things in the world, not in your head. That's another thing. People are way too stuck in head stuff. You need to start thinking about the now. The now, I recommend you read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle or something, Eckhart Tolle, I think, which tells you about the fact that people nowadays think only about their problems. Think only about, you turn on the TV, there's only problems. And now you have anxiety because of just thinking about problems. Problems that involve like the future and the past only. It never implies the moment you're living now. Like, think about today, think about now. What are you doing to enjoy your life? You could be dead tomorrow. That's a super important point that you have to write down and think about it every day. You might be dead tomorrow. What are you going to do with your life today from it? Let's say you die tomorrow. Enjoy life. Enjoy the moment. Look at things around you. Enjoy the beauty of life. Enjoy the beauty of trees. Enjoy the beauty of fucking clouds. Look up. Stop looking down at your phone to problems. People look down at their phones to problems, to stress. You need to enjoy the moment, enjoy life as if it's the last moments you have. Otherwise, you'll never be happy, because happiness, there's only one moment you can live in life, and the only thing you can live is now. So if you think about problems of the future, then once the future comes, you're thinking about more problems from the future, you know? For a further future, you're never living the now, and you're never being happy, because you can only be happy in the now. Yeah, that's it. Then, degeneracy. That's the main thing I can say when I look back at those times in the UK. It was my degenerate time. I fell for the degeneracy. And yeah, that's it. I just had to happen to me, it seems. Then, 2021, culinary student. After the UK, there was 6 months where I had to be locked down in my house, in my hometown here. And that's when I got deep into fucking crypto. And I made $100,000, you know, 1.5 Bitcoin, $100,000, and I was so hyped about it, and I lost it all. So, culinary student, when I got to this culinary school in Paris, I did that to move on from everything, because just before this, in the middle, you know, just before 2020, I lost all my money. And I got to the deepest depression I've ever been. I didn't care about anything. This picture, I've posted it before, is a picture when I woke up one day. This is my bedroom just behind, and there's a mirror right when you open the door. And I opened the door, I saw this, I was like, damn, that's me right now? And I took a picture to immortalize this moment where I never looked so bad in my life. I didn't care about my hair, didn't care about my beard, looked like shit. And it just had to go up from it. This was my rock bottom. My rock bottom was when I lost this $100,000, and I was in deep depression in my hometown, and I just had to wait 6 months to join my cooking school. 6 months of fucking horrible time in my hometown. And I joined the cooking school. To move on from crypto, I just decided to never think about money again. I'm joining this new thing, cuisine, because I hated politics. I hated mind work, right? Politics is mind work. You think with your brain, not with your hands. I decided to shift completely and join a culinary school to do things with my hand instead of my head. And forget about crypto at the same time, never think about brain stuff again. That's what I wanted to do, just do a physical labor that can get me away from the thinking. So, it was my first time being active, because before that I was always sat on my ass my whole life. And as you can see here, I was still a degenerate. That's me drunk on my balcony in my vomit. I'm laying down in my vomit and I fell from the chair, you know. And that's someone who took my sister's boyfriend was there. He took the picture. And that's how I woke up fucking at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Anyway, so I was being active, but I was still degenerate. And I became a cookie addict because at the same time at my cooking school, I was working in a restaurant on the side that did cookies, and fucking delicious cookies. The best I've ever had. I mean, nowadays I have better ones now, but at the time it was the best ones I've ever tasted. And I decided to learn it and to better it, to make it my own, so I have my own recipe. And I changed it and I made it fucking delicious. Now I have the best cookie recipe in the world. Check out my Instagram for it. And distractions. So what do I mean? But yeah, although I was doing this new life of doing a physical labor, I still got distracted by things around me, by La Bohème. I don't know if you know what La Bohème is. It's a song by Charles Aznavour, a French old song, you know, from the 60s, 70s. And La Bohème basically means this artsy time in Paris, you know, in the 1980s, 70s, where people had no money but were artists in this time, you know, and they just lived from misery. And yeah, La Bohème was just doing art stuff and enjoying the art life in misery. That's what La Bohème was. And that's what kind of happened to me there. I was just going out and being drunk and wasting my time around still. Although I was improving in the sense that I was physical for the first time, I was still distracted by the bohème shit that happens in Paris. People who drink, who smoke, who take you out, who just want to, you know, live the Paris lifestyle, as you might imagine. And then I got fat baking cookies. Because this cookie recipe that I'm talking to you about, I made it 3 times a week. So 3 times a week I was making like, 7, 8 cookies? And I was eating more than half of them. Maybe I was giving some. Sometimes I was eating the whole fucking thing, the whole thing. So that's maybe 15 to 20 cookies per week. Of course, I got fucking fat. So then what happened here is that I did a 180 on my life. I did a 180 from this life, where I was thinking with my brain, to think with my hands and do physical things. But I still fell for the societal bullshit of fat chefs. As I saw myself getting fat while eating all these cookies, but I thought, it's normal, I'm a chef. What's the problem? Let me be a chef. And I was still a simp. I still got heartbroken by a couple of times there. Maybe 3, 4 times even. I just lost count of it, you know. But I still was trying to get with girls there. Girls at the cooking school, girls in the restaurants I worked at. I was still getting friends on, I was still a simp. Because although I had decided to change my life around, I still didn't know how to approach girls. I was still kind of feminine. I hadn't lost the femininity thing here yet. I was just away from the degeneracy in the UK, which is a great thing to escape. You know, Paris is much less worse than the UK. Especially where I live in Paris. You know, there's worse places, but in my place where I live in Paris, it's a good place to be, you know. So then, from 2023 here, I actually made a step in the middle. Before getting to this level in 2025 today, in the meantime, in 2023, that's when I got into the gym. I realized every fat chef was wrong. That's when because when I finished my cooking school, I had an internship to do in my hometown, which is, where is this picture? It's when I lost 20 kilos. I actually went to a place where I didn't have time to do anything else than be working. So I lost 20 kilos. The only thing I did was I stopped drinking milk for breakfast, and then I was working. And that's how I lost 20 kilos, just not doing any effort. The only effort was not drinking milk, which was a very easy thing to do. And I realized when I lost this weight, I was working in Michelin places, by the way. So I know it was high level, but you don't have to be a fat chef in high gastronomy. And by the way, the team around me was also losing weight. I wasn't the only one. It's just when you live an extreme lifestyle, that's what happens. When you become active, it just happens. And that was without effort. I just look back at it now and understand why it happened, how it happened. So I realized every fat chef was wrong, and I could be the first chef with a six-pack, you know, the be fit. And it would be a great image on the internet, right, to be a chef with a six-pack. So I decided to get into fitness and get bigger. And I understood I was a simp and needed to build reasons to be like. That's when I actually changed my mind and stopped being a simp and chasing girls. I decided that I started to understand, because that's when there was this whole masculinity movement on the internet, you know, with Andrew Tate speaking all the time. And what if you try to escape it? If you're a woman watching, you don't know this. That's why you hate Andrew Tate, because you don't know this. But every man on the fucking planet was pushed Andrew Tate content on the internet to them. And he was banned everywhere. He was banned everywhere, and people kept seeing his face everywhere. Young men kept on seeing his face everywhere. And that's what changed my mind. That's what made me understand. It's Andrew Tate made me understand that girls don't like simps. Girls don't like a man that looks up to them. You need to be the successful one that girls look up to. That was the lesson that changed my life. Because from this moment, I was starting to improve myself, you know. Wait, where is it? I was probably in between this stage and this stage when I got into this mindset of I have to become better so that girls like me and not me chase girls, right? I was probably in between these two. And I decided to commit to bettering myself completely, because that's what's going to change me. That's what's going to attract girls. That's what's going to give me value that other people might want to seek, you know? You become valuable to an extent that other people want your help, but they want you as a friend. You know, if you're useless, what use are you to your friends, you know? You might have friends, and if you think about it, what do you bring to them? Nothing. You want to be valuable for your friends. Otherwise, you're useless. You just have friends from childhood that you just masturbate in circles together. You do nothing. So I understand I needed to build reasons to be liked, and I started improving my life and shit. And I went all in into improving myself from this moment. I decided to become active every day. And I'm eating whatever I want daily, but it took a lot of understanding how the fuck to get there, because for a long time I was, as I told you, I was tracking. And if I was not careful, I was just eating 20 cookies a day, I was still getting fat. But then I got into tracking shit and all this shit. And then with trial and error and time, I got into a system where I can eat whatever I want daily. I never stop me, and you can see it in my social media. I love to flex eating Nutella and brownies and crepes and churros and whatever I can eat. Although you might think it's unhealthy, look at me. I'm the fittest I've ever been. Knowledge from experience, that's what I mean. I had to experience those 3 years of physical evolution to learn about this fitness aspect and the food and the mind change. The most important thing was my mind changing. If I was eating like I'm eating today, but I had the mindset I had in 2020, in 2018, like when I was this guy, I would still be a fat fuck loser with no fucking girls, rejected by everyone. It's because the mind changed that I'm able to just keep it going without any effort. I never track calories. I haven't fucking tracked anything in fucking ages. Yesterday, I weighed myself because I wanted to see if I'm overweight. I mean, not even this, but I wanted to see what my body fat percentage is, because to have this crazy physique, I wanted to know what amount of fat this is. And I'm actually at 18% fat, which is a lot. People would expect that you can start seeing the six-pack at 15 to 10% body fat. This is 18, and actually, you could see my abs at 20, because they are very developed. But that's what I want to tell you with the system. You don't have to track. You don't have to be a fucking horrible person that just eats things that he doesn't like, because that's what you have to do to not become fat, right? You have to do the diet and shit. No, I eat only things I like. My clients only eat things I like, things they like. And look at me. I have 18% body fat, which means I'm eating whatever I want. 18% body fat is a proof that I'm not restricting myself at all. I'll try to do a picture at 20% body fat just to flex to people that I have abs at 20% body fat. That's crazy. And lifetime six-pack. my six-pack does not go away. If you look at my transformation, this was 3-4 years of transformation from this first picture here. There, probably 4 years. I haven't lost the six-pack once. I mean, first I had to get it, right? But once I got it, I never lost it. Although I was gaining fat, losing fat, gaining muscle, losing muscle, I never lost the six-pack, eternal six-pack. And that's something you can have. People have this idea that you have your six-pack for summer and then for winter you lose it and then you get it the next summer because, you know, the season you have to eat more in winter. No, you have to live in a way that makes it so that it stays forever. And that's what I fucking do in the human regime. So what is the human regime? Is the program I've decided to call my program like this, which is the way that you have to live to not get fucking fat. So why did I use the word regime? Because in French, the word diet is translated by regime. The word regime, which is the same word as the political regime, right? In French, it's the same word and the same. It's interesting because it means diet, but it also means the political regime. And if you think about it, it's because the diet about food is not about changing the food that you're eating. It's about changing your regime of life. What is a regime? It's a new political state where there's a new president, new laws, new fucking... The police has new rules to apply, you know? It's a different frame of things around you. It's not about the food you put in your mouth. I mean, in terms of politics, I don't know how I can make the example about it, but about food, it's not about what food you put in your mouth. It's about the rules that you have in your life. The rules that are, you don't want to eat in the morning so that you can be fasting. You don't want to eat too late because you want to be able to digest before going to sleep. And it's just rules that are going to change your life completely without changing the food that you're eating. So, the regime, you could also change the word regime by lifestyle. For Americans, maybe it makes more sense, but I use the word regime because it means diet in French, but it also means political regime. So the regime that pushed me to evolve only in the right direction. You can see it never went in the wrong direction. It just kept getting better over 4 years. You know, it's a long time. You could fuck up over 4 years. I didn't. I only improved for 4 years. So I created this system, the human regime, through trial and error. But also, I just told you, I didn't make many errors because I was still improving. But I understood that metabolically and how I was feeling, there was foods that made you feel better than others, food that make you feel lazy, foods that make you feel most optimal. And this is a real thing. Calories is not equal to calories. Like, all calories are not the same. It's completely a big fucking lie. Don't care about calories. Don't track calories. It's useless. Care about your regime of life, what happens in your life. So the core values of this system, I wrote yee ass bullshit because I know that you don't want to hear about values, you just want to hear about what to do. But listen, you have to hear about the values and the mindset because those things are what make you do the actions. You can't do the actions if you don't apply the yee ass bullshit. So the few values that I've thought about, you know, I just wrote them yesterday because I didn't realize that I was actually living by values. So those values are, you're only an animal on the planet. I keep saying this thing so often. It's crazy, but it's a value. So I decided that I have tenets now. Tenets. You're only an animal on the planet, which implies don't get lost too much into your brain things, brain issues. Don't get lost in the problems of society around you on TV that tells you there's problems, and tomorrow there's more problems, and the next day there's more problems. You know, if you turn on the TV, there's only bad news. You're only an animal on the planet. Don't let the stress from the outside world, from society, impact you. You're only an animal on the fucking planet. Just go outside, live. Do things that humans do, that animals do, that your dog does, that tigers do. You know? Go out, walk, run. Eat things that come from nature, not sugars that come from fucking factories, you know? Second, your brain capacity will never exceed your body state. you don't, this means basically you think you're too smart to get into fitness, you know? Your brain capacity will never exceed your body state. Because, you know, I have a very high IQ. I'm not going to flex on you, but I have a very high IQ. And for all my life until this, when I started, you know, until I was this fucking guy here that started losing weight, I thought I was too smart to get fit. There's no need to be fit. I don't need to be fit. I don't need to impress girls. I don't need to fight. The world is developed enough that we don't have to fight ever again. You know, we need to live at peace. There's no need to. Because if you look at TV, anytime the physicality is implied, it's as if diplomacy and talking is more valuable than fighting, which on TV is true, but in the real world, that's not true. In the real world, you can have as much diplomacy as you want. If I decide to knock you out with a punch, then I'm right. That's how it goes. The guy with the strength is the most respected one. And that's what is so hateful about Andrew Tate. You know, whatever you can say about him, however you can hate him, he's so fucking fit. He can knock you out with one punch. He's a 4-time world champion of kickboxing. He is respected. Because even if he says wrong things, people will respect him because he has his own reasons for it. And that's the same for anyone. You looking fit like this makes you respected by people. This person here is so much more respected than this. I mean, the one on the right is actually starting to get some respect because you have six-pack, which is a thing that other people don't have. And when you have things that others don't have, you have respect. But when this person here was not respected by anyone, never respected, you know? Physicality is very important. And by that, I mean, your brain will never be at the level that it's going to be if you're fit. I thought I was too smart to get fit. And when I got fit, I realized that my brain kept getting better because there's a part in your brain called the mid-cingulate cortex that grows every time you do things that you don't like doing. Every time you do difficult shit, your brain starts growing. You literally get smarter from doing things you don't like. Your brain gains volume, it gets bigger. That's one of the things. But also I realized that my reflexes got better, that my speed of thinking got better. It's also related to the foods you eat. The different types of food have a very big impact on your mind. So you're never going, if you're unfit, you don't know it, but you're missing out on your brain being so much more efficient and being so much smarter as a human. This is something you have to experience. A lot of people will not believe me. Wait, what's the phrase that everyone says? A healthy mind and a healthy body, you know? This kind of shit. It's not a ye-ass bullshit quote, it's real. Once you get fit, you realize your brain works better. You become smarter. It's not a fucking lie, it's so fucking real. Then the other value that I'm living by, you live to improve the lives around you and not to drain from them. That's what I meant when I said you don't want, you want to offer value to your friends, you know? Your friends have to gain something from being your friend. A lot of my friends now gain a lot of motivation from being around me, you know? Because they saw me evolve. And just the fact that I evolved, even if I don't speak to them, the fact that I evolved makes them evolve. You know, they have to put the motivation because they see me and they get inspired by it and it changes them. That's one of the things. You want to be valuable enough that just your presence makes other people improve their lives. Not drain from them. That's what by not draining from them, you don't want to be I don't know how, a leash, is that how you call it? This thing that sticks to your skin in the jungle and sucks your blood out. You don't want to try to make friends to drag from them, you know? To drag a contact, a nice relationship because this guy is one guy closer to this famous person I need to talk to, so I want to be friends with him so that I can contact him, you know? Don't be friends to drain. You need to offer, you need to give, you need to radiate energy to an extent that people gain energy from being around you. You know? Very important. Improve your life because it's going to change the life of people around you. Not only yours, which is the beautiful thing about it. Then your development will ultimately elevate the people you are close to. That's what I just said. You want to improve yourself, not because you're a cocky guy that has very egocentric. You want to do it because it's going to make you happy and make the people around you happier. It's an insane mechanism. You have to fucking try it. And the other value is, if there's pleasure, there is pain. This is something you need to understand, because pleasure comes from all different forms. Sex, food, drugs, alcohol. Anytime something feels pleasureful, it only feels pleasureful because you have time of not having it, of craving, while it feels painful to not have them. Something is only pleasureful because it's going to bring you pain when it's not there. Don't chase this dopamine. Don't chase the pleasure all the time, because chasing the pleasure is going to hurt you a fucking lot of time. It's going to lead you to an addiction. It's going to lead you to withdrawal. That's the word I'm looking for. Withdrawal. Withdrawal from addictions. When you stop smoking for a week, you stop sugar for a week, then you have this fucking painful craving to get back in it. And then you get the pleasure from doing it once, or for 1 second you have pleasure, 5 seconds, and then that's it. You're in the pain again because now you want more and you can't have more. If there's pleasure, there is pain. Same for sex. Sorry. If you chase sex because you want to get your dick wet, you go out, you have one night stands, it's going to be painful. It's going to lead you in this deep fucking depression that I was in, where I was just living a life that makes no sense, and I had a body count of like 30 with all the girls I fucked in the clubs, but it was all meaningless. All meaningless. The only time I had sex that was actually valuable was my first girlfriend. It was actually a great first girlfriend. Great first girlfriend. I'm very happy of this very short relationship, 3 months. But it was great. Everything else after that, I was just trying to get my dick wet again. And it brought me to depression and to failing and all this shit. You don't want to just chase pleasure for no reason. Because pleasure, if you don't know why you're chasing pleasure, it's probably, in fact, because your body is seeking for pain, and by getting pleasure, it's leading you to pain later on, or something. Well, that's how nature works. Anyway, so the human regime is going to be extremely effective for some people, and maybe not so much for others. It's going to be extremely effective for people who, where's the dog, are ready to commit to a new straightforward routine. Because it's not difficult, it's straightforward. It's simple steps that you have to implement every day. It's simple. It's very simple. You can do it in less than 5 minutes per day, probably. But it's going to it's a new routine that you have to get to. You have to commit to it. If you don't commit, you're going to go back and forth and feel depressed again. Failing at this will make you probably depressed again. I mean, not at this, but failing at anything in life makes you depressed again. You need to commit, be able to commit and do it for the duration of it. It's also extremely efficient for people who are capable to limit snacking to once per day. If you're one of those people that has a snack, I mean, you can't stop yourself from having a snack. First of all, you have a sweet breakfast, then a 9 a.m. snack, then a 11 a.m. snack, then a snack in the afternoon, this kind of shit. It's probably not a good idea for you. I mean, you're not going to manage. So the dog's making some weird noises. He's licking his ball. It's also extremely effective for people who need a clear brain and energy at work. I was a chef, right? I mean, now I work online. I make content for food content, shit like this, mindset content. I try to change your life like this. But when I was working in kitchens, I had to be efficient. I had to have energy. It was impossible for me to just go and feel lazy straight up in the morning. Because if you go to work feeling lazy in the kitchen, you have a bad fucking day. Because the kitchen days is most often 12 to 16 hours a day. So you better get in there with energy. And also a clear brain. You might think it's physical jobs don't require a clear brain. If you go to your job, you feel fine physically, but you have something on your mind, it's going to ruin your fucking day. A clear brain and no brain fog is super important to have a good day at work. So whether you work in an office and you need brain clarity, or you have a physical job that needs you to have energy and brain clarity, this is great for you because it has big impact on that. It's one of the things that my clients love the most about this, because it feels very different about how your brain fucking feels like. and how smart it feels. I'm not saying it raises your IQ. It does actually, but that's not the point. It just makes you more efficient, more think faster, think better, and not feel bad in your body. Feel uncomfortable in your body. That's it. It makes you feel comfortable in your body. It's also effective for people who don't want to spend their time tracking fucking numbers. I don't like people who track numbers all the time. Fitness is not about numbers. Fitness is about feeling good in your body and improving the situation, you know? So that's the thing here. If you don't want to, maybe you are tracking everything that you fucking do. And if you are, let me tell you that fitness is, you're just an animal on the planet, right? Fitness is not numbers. At what time in history has any animal fucking tracked their calories to not get fat? It never happened. So, you don't need to track, you shouldn't track to feel good in your body, right? You've just been sold other ideas, right? Or you've been sold the calorie tracking app, the calories on the food that you buy, that you have to limit your calories. You're way powder with a different amount of calories than the other one. It's kind of shit. Anyway, it's also very effective for people who are ready to do things differently from the mass. You have to be ready about this because a lot of people, they don't feel comfortable doing things differently from others. If everyone at work does, like eats at 12 and you're not ready to eat later because you have a specific rule to take, right? From the human regime, you have specific rules. If you're not ready to eat alone later and feel, you know, because your co-workers are going to fucking bully you, look bad at you or something like this. If this pressure from the outside is stopping you because you want to be like the mass, then it's not for you, right? You have to be ready to do things differently from everybody else. People will look at you different because you'll be different than them. You'll have a six-pack, you'll be fit. You have to do things differently than other people if you want to look differently than other people. Most people do the same things and all look like shit, all look the same. That's not my goal here. I want you to look exceptional. If you want to look exceptional, you have to be ready to act differently from the mass. And it might be not so good for people who think that they're too smart to try something new. I was there, but if you're still there today while watching this video, it's not going to work. You have to accept that I'm going to teach you things. It's also not a good thing for people whose hands are stronger than their ambitions. By this, I mean, if you're one of those people who just grabs a snack in the bag and you decide to eat it, I mean, you think about where you want to be, you know, your goals, you want this business owner, ripped six-pack, whatever. You're fit. You think about your goal and at the same time you eat this fucking sweet Haribo thing, you know. At the same time you think about the vision of the successful you, and you eat the sugar because you can't control eating the sugar. If you can't, your hands are stronger than your ambitions, it might not be good for you. Your ambitions are the things you want to do. They should be stronger than you putting a sweet thing in your mouth. Right? And if they're not, question yourself deeply. This is not normal. And it's not good for people who think they'll be fine anyway. If you think you'll be fine anyway, you don't understand the stakes that this implies. Don't waste your time here, you know. You've already wasted a lot of time on this video, so you might as well watch it till the end. But if you think you'll be fine anyway, just don't waste your time looking at people who talk to you about fitness. You'll be fine, right? You're smart enough by yourself. Do it. Do your way of thinking. Stop listening to others. You'll be fine, right? Anyway, I don't like people who think they'll be fine anyway. It's never. You're giving up on a good life scenario that you'll be proud of to go into this shitty life path that you've been doing because you don't want to take risks, you don't want to do any effort, and you think you'll be fine from not taking risks. Fuck this. I don't like those people. Anyway, not so good for people who think they can do more tomorrow and nothing today. If you think, there's things you have to do, an amount of steps daily. If you think, I'm tired today, I'm not going to do it. But tomorrow I'll do 15,000 steps. I'll do more than I have to do because I'm too lazy to do it. Don't fucking do it because
first of all, your commitment to do more tomorrow is bullshit. It's wind. That means nothing. You're probably going to skip tomorrow as well. And then you have to do 30,000 the next day. That's what you're going to do, 30,000? No. You're going to do maybe 10,000 the next day and go back to failing. And because you failed 2 days in a row, now you think, it's fine. I've failed and now I'm fine. I might as well fail once more. I don't want you to do more tomorrow. I want you to do what's necessary today. I don't care about your crazy amount of work tomorrow. There's something needed to do today. That's what you need to do today. Do the fucking necessary today. And also, the last one, maybe not so good for people who seek to always find the next supplement to fix their inaction, A lot of people, I see, there's supplements nowadays. They sell you the fact that if you eat this supplement, you're going to lose weight. If you add calories in your system from this supplement, you're going to lose weight. Crazy shit. Now there's medicine, there's Ozempic that cuts your hunger and makes people lose weight, but I think you lose your eyesight from it, or something like this. A lot of people lost their eyesight from this medication, which is not medication, right? Nowadays it's just poison. Anyway. If you want more supplements, more vitamins, more fucking boron, more zinc, more iron, go buy your fucking supplements. Go be a gym bro that spends his money for the system. And that's it, Don't fucking waste your time. You don't need more things to become less, to lose weight. You don't need more things to lose things from your body. You need to detach from the head things. The supplements are another mind problem that society has told you. You need to buy those things to be better. I have 0 supplements right now. 0. I did take creatine. I do from this stage here. On those 2 pictures, I was taking creatine here. The 2 abs picture here, I was taking creatine. But then I stopped because I understand now that you don't need it. It's not a necessary thing. And I'm the best looking I've ever been without the creatine. So, creatine makes your muscles look bigger. And look how I look now without the creatine. You don't need fucking supplements. You don't need it. Just stop fucking looking for the next thing to buy to change. Act. Right, so let's get into it. It's not that complicated. It's actually fucking easy. And you might not believe it's so easy. There's 5 non-negotiable steps that you have to do. No breakfast. Only breakfast. The word breakfast? Isn't it crazy that breakfast, they changed the word. It was originally breakfast, right? And they changed it into breakfast, breakfast into breakfast. For some reason, they changed it completely so that people don't assimilate it to the meaning that it had in the past, which was you break your fast. It's not the first thing you eat in the morning at 8 or 7 or 6. You break your fast at 12 or 1 p.m., 2 p.m. That's how it was before Kellogg's made fucking cereals and tried to sell you a 3rd meal in the day, which was breakfast. Breakfast didn't exist back in the day. Now they've implemented it and now they want you to buy cereals for breakfast so that they can increase sales by 50%, right? If you go from 2 meals a day to 3 meals a day, you increase sales by 50%. That's what happened. So, no breakfast. Only break fast. You're going to break your fast after lunch, after 12. So all food that you're going to have then is between 12 p.m., so 12 and 7 p.m. Between lunchtime and 7 p.m. All the food that you want to have is at this time. Not before, not after. 10,000 steps before your first meal. So 10,000 steps before 12. It takes me 1 hour and 15 minutes to do this. You could walk to work. You could wake up. You could sacrifice 1 hour of social media in the evening to actually wake up 1 hour earlier to walk. And guess what you can do? You can scroll 1 hour on social media while you're walking. There really isn't any excuse to not do it. You just have to fucking realize that you have so much wasted time in your daily life. And you could just move things around a little. If you had serious priorities, if you had standards, as I said earlier, people don't have any standards nowadays. If you had standards, you would realize that it's unacceptable to be spending 2, 3, 4 hours on social media every day, doing nothing, just scrolling. And it's, what term did I use? Black hole time, fucking vacuums that steal all your time and make nothing out of it. You don't want to vacuum your time away into social media and not do 10,000 steps while you could literally be doing the 10,000 steps on social media. I mean, while on social media. Only one animal protein for lunch. This is another rule that people don't think about, and that says, I think it's my rule. I haven't heard anyone else say this, but it's a great fucking thing. Because when you eat only one animal protein, there's going to be, it can be eggs, steak, whatever. There's going to be proteins and fat in it. And when you have this, it takes 2 to 3 hours to digest this. If you eat sugar, sugar is the fastest thing to digest. If you eat a fucking Haribo, in 10 minutes you have it, 10, 20, 30 minutes, it's digested. It's in your system. Sugar is too fast to digest, first thing. So then if you eat the steak with protein and fats at 12, by the time it's digested, you actually start getting energy from it, the calories from it, 2 hours later at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Right? So eating one animal protein for lunch means that you're still fucking fasting until it's digested completely. Which is fucking amazing. So once you have this, your first meal at sometime between 12 and 7, you know? It doesn't have to be 12, it's better if you push it later, of course. You have your animal protein, then you have 2 more hours where you're burning your fat. Although you've already eaten, you're still burning fat for 2 hours because you're still fasting. And then, so once you've digested the steak, you might want to wait for this first meal to be digested. Then you can eat whatever you want until 7 p.m. Until 7 p.m. Because you need 3 hours of digestion before bed. If you don't have 3 hours of digestion before bed, you are destroying your fucking sleep. You need to go to sleep empty stomached. I mean, the food is going to go from your stomach to your intestine. Your stomach needs to be empty when you go to sleep. Then your intestine is going to digest while you're sleeping. But if you go to sleep with a full stomach, it's going to fucking make you feel like shit when you wake up. And of course, it's better if it's completely out of your system when you go to sleep, but that's not really possible. You're not going to eat dinner and then poop it out. It's not possible. So you need 2 hours of digestion before sleep. So what these 5 steps do, 5 non-negotiable, is they cause ketosis in the morning. What is ketosis? It's a state where you burn your deep brown fat cells. I don't know if you know, but you have 2 types of fats. You have the fat that you have everywhere. You can grab it like this. I don't have it, but you have it. You grab it, you have fat around your nipples and shit. That's your normal fat. And then there is deep brown fat, which is closer to your intersections of your muscles, which is a fat that is just there at all times. If you have fat on you, it's never going to get burned, the brown fat. You start burning the brown fat when you're in ketosis. And when you have not enough fat, normal fat, so that you just have this as a reserve, you use it. So you want to enter ketosis so that you'll be burning this brown fat. And this, which is the best source of energy, is this brown fat. It's with a little amount, you can get so much fucking done. That's how animals in the wild fucking hunt. You've never seen any wild animal be fat. It does not exist. If you look at game meat, if you chase a rabbit, you chase a bird, you chase anything, they don't have fucking fat on them. It doesn't happen naturally. They only have deep brown fat cells. And this is what they use to hunt. Every day they burn it up and hunt. Nowadays, there is some geeks on social media who will tell you that you should never burn your brown fat cells. It's so dangerous because it's your last resort energy, blah, blah, blah. They completely fucking ignore the fact that wild animals burn it every day, and they eat and then they replenish it by eating, and they then burn it again the next day. Every time they hunt, they burn this brown fat. And so what do you have to do? Because you're not hunting, You have to be in ketosis to not eat and then do your 10,000 steps. Your 10,000 steps in the morning is going to be the simulation of you hunting. You want to be going outside and moving around, going to the gym. I advise you go to the gym in the morning, right? You noticed in those 5 steps, I didn't even put fucking go to the gym. It's not even necessary. It's not necessary, but do it because it's going to help you gain muscle mass and have a better metabolism and end up looking fucking perfect like this. If you don't do the gym aspect of it, you're going to lose the fat but not gain muscle. Of course, you need to go to the gym to gain muscle. But you need ketosis to start burning fat at a super accelerated rate in the morning. You will not believe how fast your fat burns when you don't eat for breakfast and your first meal is a steak and then you only eat random bullshit from like 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's crazy. And what it does also, it creates a reward mechanism with meals. When you eat at 12, your first meal is going to feel so fucking good. It's a steak, it's eggs. They're going to taste so fucking good because you've been hungry in the morning, you've been walking. You've been walking and working, you know? And that's the point with it. While you're working in the morning, you're burning this brown fat, and this brown fat is super efficient at making your brain sharp as fuck. Animals are, the most efficient they are is when they're hunting. The most focused, the most perspicacious they are is when they're hunting for food. And this is what this brown fat is going to do to you, is you're never going to be more productive than when you're burning this brown fat. You need ketosis to enter a completely different stage of fucking life. I need to stop giving so much fucking value on this video. Anyway, I actually came back to the first one. Create rewards mechanism with the meals. Once you're hungry from not eating in the morning, the first meal is going to feel so much better. And then once you have your big meal in the evening, it's going to be the first time you insert sugar if you want sugar, you know? Because you're not going to have eaten any sugar until your last meal of the day. And that's when you can reward yourself really, and it's going to feel good because you need to fill your stomach. Your last meal of the day, eat however much you want because you need to be full, to fill your stomach so that the next day morning you're not hungry straight away and you feel satisfied. You don't feel like you're craving, you need to go to the fridge at midnight, shit like this. No, you have one big meal in the day, which is in the before 7 p.m. And this meal is going to satisfy everything else. And because you'll be full, your stomach will be filled, you'll be satisfied from it. You'll be rewarded. You can eat whatever you want at this fucking meal. But of course, don't eat 1 kilo of Nutella, you know, be reasonable. If you want a fucking slice of cake, go ahead, this kind of shit, you know. It's going to naturalize your hormones. What I mean by hormone naturalization is when you eat 3 times a day, your system is in rest mode the whole fucking time. Look at lions when they hunt. They go ahead, they hunt, and then they eat their fucking prey, and then they sleep for days. For a day, 2 days, 3 days. The lion stays and does nothing. It's the females that go hunt, but even when the females have hunted, when they just ate, they rest. That's what happens with every fucking animal. That's why you're sleepy as fuck every time you eat. It's not a mental thing, it's real. Digestion takes energy. It's a very heavy system, heavy process on your system. So you need to not eat 3 times a day. If you're going to go through this digestion drain of energy, don't do it 3 times a day. And crazier thing, don't do it 7 times a day by snacking. Snacking is fucking crazy. So it's going to naturalize your hormones by the fact that for the first time, you'll be closer to a natural frame of living, which makes you not digesting all day long. In the morning, you'll be hunting. You'll be going out, walking, doing your gym, working, using your brain, doing things that take energy from your fucking reserves, and then you eat. Then you reward yourself, and then you can rest. You're not going to be resting all day long like this, which is what you fucking need. Then, sleep quality will be 100x. If you don't eat in the morning and you wait 3 hours of digestion before sleep, your sleep will be so much fucking better. And you will, for the first time, realize that 6 hours of sleep is enough. That's if you lose the porn addiction as well and the masturbation addiction. Because masturbation leads you to be a lazy fuck with low testosterone, with high prolactin, which makes you sleep 10, 11 hours. The main reason why teenagers sleep so much is because they fucking masturbate twice, 3 times a day. I said it. And you too, if you're old and you think you need 9 hours of sleep, it's because you're probably porn addicted. Humans need 6, 7 hours max if they have high testosterone. Cool, then you only eat things you like. In this system, you don't eat the fucking broccolis and anything you don't like. None of my clients here, none of them have ever eaten anything they don't like. I will never push you to eat something you don't like. It's the thing with the system, you are going to enjoy what you like, but you're going to move things around so that you have a natural lifestyle that allows you to burn at some time and restore at another time. You shouldn't be eating all day long and having food coming in all the time. It's impossible to get fat with the system if you have no breakfast, if all your food is between 12 and 7, if 10,000 steps a day, if you always do it before your first meal, if you eat 1 animal protein for lunch and you have 3 hours of digestion before sleep, it's impossible to fucking get fat. Impossible. Impossible. Apply this and you will not get it. It's not possible. Now the hard thing is to apply it every day. It reminds me of this scene in BoJack Horseman. Anyway. And also it allows you to enjoy life every day because every day you can eat what you want. Not at a random time, but during your eating window, you can eat what you want. Of course, if you eat it earlier during your workday, it's going to make you tired throughout the workday, so you want to push it out as late as possible. Maybe at the time you leave work, as soon as you get home, have your fucking meal. You don't want to push it to 9 p.m. and then not have time to digest. You know? So that's it about this this system. Bro, apply this. It took me a long time to understand that fasting is so serious metabolically. It's not just about losing weight. It's about restoring your hormones. It's so important. The reason why I actually look good now, because this one, actually, the one just before, I think I look ugly as fuck. I'm the biggest I've ever been, but ugly. I don't like this physique. It's because I wasn't fasting. I didn't have a good metabolic state, and also I was brainwashed by the fitness fucking thing. I was quite fatty. I got too big. I think this one, I'm too big. I don't like it. I should have stopped. I mean, not should have, but at this stage, I stopped gaining muscle. I didn't need it. I thought I have enough muscles now. I need to get better in other aspects of life. So I started to get into boxing, into calisthenics, and to being more of a human, to actually use my body like a human. And now it looked fucking perfect. But yeah, if you want to gain mass, you're going to have to go through some bodybuilding, because that's what bodybuilding does. It grows your muscle mass. But yeah, that's how you improve your life. And that's some of my clients. As I told you, Luigi earlier, Sebastian. This is the Viking. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't want to. In 3 months, he got shredded as fuck from this system. And he's been applying it with great fucking discipline. And he was also eating a lot because he's trying to not lose muscle. Of course, when you're trying to lose weight, if you don't want to lose muscle, you're going to lose weight slower. Because as you gain muscle mass, you gain kilograms, and then you lose the kilograms of the fat. But it's two things that are going against each other, which is why tracking everything is retarded. Because you're losing fat, but you're gaining muscle. Why track it? It's going to look like you are not moving, but you're making great progress because your percentage of fat is going down and your muscle mass is going up. And this is Michael. You can't see much on this image maybe, but look at his love handles. On this first one, you can see his stomach is basically round. On the second one, oh my God. On the second one, his love handles are completely gone. This is 2 weeks, guys. And he just joined the program, and after 2 weeks, he lost his love handles, which I think is fucking amazing. I was actually impressed. And then underneath is, what's his name again? Michel. 3 weeks on the program, his belly is just fucking melted away. And I had him on the call yesterday, which after 6 weeks, it's been 6 weeks after I've called him. I mean, yesterday I called him, it's been 6 weeks he joined the program. And on the call, I was watching his head and his fucking face melted away. He lost the fat on his cheeks, the fat all around his head. He looks so much fucking better. And he keeps telling me that all his coworkers fucking notice it, all his coworkers congratulate him, all his friends notice it. His wife hugs him much more now. She grabs his arm to grab his biceps because it's been a long time that he didn't look fit like this. He looks fitter now. He just hasn't showed me. I just saw his face, big fucking melting away, which is great. It makes me so happy to see this. To see how my work, my life experience, the conclusion I came with from my life experiences are able to change people's lives like this. And that's what this human regime does, you know. And if you're interested in learning more about the human regime, with me, I can teach you on one-on-one coaching. If you want the book, call in the description. You're gonna have a few questions to answer. Then we can see if you would be a nice fit for my program. And if not, I'll just help you out in the right direction. But I only take people who are extremely committed to join because I don't want to have unsatisfied clients. I really need, I'm trying to grow a business at the same time, you know? And I need my business to be a winning business with people that are fucking satisfied. And so if I only take people that are extremely motivated. Otherwise, you can just apply the system at home and do it with your family or some shit like this. But if you need help with commitment and anything, you struggle with motivation and just doing it by yourself all the time, I advise you might reach out for a coach. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fucking value. It's crazy. Maybe I should have said less, you know. But it's really a system. I'm trying to help you out with this video. This is not me trying to sell you a course. It's actually impossible to get fat. I wrote it. Impossible to get fat with this system. Do it. And I'll be happy to help you out. If you book a call, or you can DM me on Instagram if you have questions. I'll be happy to answer. And apart from that, you know, praise, follow on the YouTube. And thanks for watching this video. And hopefully I'll see you in my one-to-one program. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.